green energy for all. You find inside the text what is replaced, what changed. So still there can be bad English, but I made an attempt to integrate all the remarks of the comrades that comrades have made in the discussion yesterday, so to avoid ambiguity and unclear positions. So you have the hijacking instead of the racketeering. You have the sentence, we support action to revert and prevent such extreme outcomes in the first paragraph, the first section of social emergency. You have some slight changes in the second section where we speak about green capitalism instead of green marketeering in the former version. Speak about social justice regarding the energy transition. Third section, there is nothing that changed. Fourth section, breaking with the neoliberal framework and leaving responsible for the situation out.
Yeah.
Took into account the proposal of Martine Billard to speak about public and or non-profit based production and distribution of energy, so not only of the sector but of energy in a broad sense of it. I mentioned the climate jobs in the last part of the fourth section, and then I made a list of the demands, and maybe we can check this list as to be adopted as regarded to be completed or not. And to me, well, when you make such a list, but this is a tradition of Belgium, if you want to change something, you have always to say how you're going to finance it. Well, this is a political culture of, especially of the Flanders. Even if they're not Protestant, they have that habit of where you're going to take the money to do that. Not in our pockets, of course. So I'm not suggesting that we should adopt that Flemish tradition, but I think it's useful, maybe at the next meeting, maybe when we launch the campaign, to have at least some elements to say, well, this is feasible, there is money, country, there is enough wealth, or there is enough money around to finance it. Because if you don't do that little bit, it's sometimes not so realistic, or not seen as realistic. But the most important thing today is to agree upon the list of demands. So to modify, amend, correct this list, and then I propose to adopt that document, and also to check and to, well, already today, to, as individuals, representatives of parties, organizations, and so on, well, to be ready to sign it, so we can start collect signatures for such a document, and we can start to collect signatures outside what is the network now, and see and this as a mean, as a vehicle to recruit or to approach people and to integrate them in a campaign of the network.
Thank you very much for that introduction,
trade union,
Stefan.
officials,
yes,
MEPs,
absolutely, NGOs, all the other groups,
et cetera.
other political groups, whether electoral or not. So I think, seeing as the rest of the text was changed according to points that we made yesterday, if we are happy to look at that list at the end of the document first, and if there's no problems with it, we all get to eat lunch. So think carefully before you raise your hand.
This is
Sean, Peter.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, congratulations to the comrades that this is a really worthwhile document.
Yes,
and in fact, it's allowed us in Left Unity to actually realise that there are areas of work that we really ought to be doing and it hadn't occurred to us. This is the area around fuel poverty and the basic fuel allowance. So that's extremely helpful. There's just one thing which may be just a matter of English usage, but in the first, and I don't want to turn it into a big deal, but it says a guaranteed access to energy for everyone through free provision of a minimal amount. Now, in English usage, that would be thought of meaning the smallest possible amount.
So basic.
I mean, for us, we'd possibly say a basic.
Yes.
Your basic, yeah.
Basic.
I think we'd agree with that. Everyone agree with that change? Basic. A basic amount. Lovely, thank you very much. Peter? Murray?
Yeah, a similar thing on a short-term exit strategy. I wonder whether, again, it might be English usage, it might not, it might be a political point. I would rather say an urgent exit strategy, and of course there's a slight grammatical thing. It should be to get out of nuclear, or to whatever, another word, to exit. Yeah. So I would rather have urgent than short term, because short term can be continually redefined and could involve building new nuclear power stations if you're not bloody careful.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Simon?
I'll just briefly point out that in point 3, planned approach reducing energy consumption, I think there's a spelling mistake there. It says better isolation housing, whereas that should be better insulated housing.
Yes. Oh yes, insulation. That's what insulation. Yeah, that's fine.
There are a dozen things like that.
Yeah, okay, well we can run through them quickly and then it's perfect maybe. Very little quick. We will be out for lunch any minute.
Out to lunch now.
Spelling mistakes or slightly odd.
All right.
The bit we support action, it should, I think, be we support action to reverse rather than reverse and prevent.
Where is it?
Where? We're talking
End of the first paragraph.
To reverse. To reverse.
Yeah. Okay, well then these, if they are only spelling typos, could you just write them on a piece of paper and hand them to Stefan? Just write them down now and pass them up, that'll be fine, if it's just spelling things.
Green energy rule includes the following demands. It doesn't include following demands. Includes the following demands. Our campaign green energy rule includes the following demands.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay. I think all of us would just say, well, thank you for this. There seems to be such minor points that we really must say a great thank you for those who have carefully gone through it and incorporated many ideas. I'm just sort of giving you a little bit more time just in case there was anybody else to come up with any point, and Stefan, you can come back in if there's anything.
I just want to say, as a computer and techno sort of phobic person, I was frightened to come to use these, but I just say it's worked perfectly.
Marvellous, isn't it?
Thank you very much for the
Isn't it
translation.
absolutely marvellous to be able to sit here and be looking at people and hearing somebody else's voice? But it is great.
Magic.
Can I call for us to formally adopt this document for our campaign?
Yes? Okay.
Put up your hands, don't wave your arms about.
Marvellous, and thank you so much, everybody who's put in those extra hours instead of staying later at the pub or having another bottle of wine last night. Martin, have you got a...
Yeah, just a practical point.
Yes.
This needs to be disseminated. How can we get hold of an electronic copy to save us all?
Well, by giving me and to share your mail address. So let's share mail addresses here now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have had them from yesterday, I think. Anyone who...
Do we have them?
I think our various
Yes,
groups are
Francois
quite
has-
capable of copying it off ourselves and distributing it anyway.
Yes, I mean,
We will
you can
certainly
see it roughly, and then,
Yeah.
but also it'll come with the report as well, won't it?
The report of the meeting?
Yeah? Will it? Or?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't think so.
I thought you were doing it all on there.
No, it was on Facebook.
All right. We have no record of the meeting then. We have the documents. We have the documents. But you're going to polish them up with the amendments, and then just and email it out to at least one person in each organisation, and then we'll be able to disseminate it with our groups. Then the other thing I would just like to say is we have that nice graphic for the Green Energy for All. If that could be sent in maybe 3 formats, one for a website, one for a letterhead, and one for us to print out a big banner, then we could maybe get on with that quite quickly and start carrying those banners with us for any of these related activities, and then collecting photographs, and then as soon as we have volunteers to tell us who can help support a website and do some uploading work, we will maybe get a picture gallery going at first, and then maybe invite people to send in very short reports, maybe 300 words or 500 words on a regular basis, and then we can have a start like that before we discuss it more maybe in Barcelona. Next meeting.
Yes.
Next meeting?
Next meeting, you are kindly invited to Barcelona. Up to now, we cannot say a concrete date. We think that it would be better that jointly the liaison committee and our organization discuss and decide which maybe the better dates, obviously around autumn, with 2 main criteria. One is that fits a little bit in the political and the difficult political agenda that now is facing in Catalonia. So it's a little bit we don't mess things up. And the other thing that maybe could take place in days that there are some kind of meeting related to TTIP or some other things that are taking place, that will take place in Barcelona, or other campaigns or other meetings, and so we can, in Spanish we say that we can kill 2 ducks with 1 shot. I don't know if it's...
2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly.
I like the ducks, I like the roast.
So during the next weeks, the liaison committee, we will face, we will decide the dates.
Well, I'd just like to say for October in the UK, we're expecting a TUC demonstration, a national demonstration. So that's 18th of October. So perhaps that's a date that we should leave out. So it may be something after that. But any other dates? We have collected some dates here this morning before I arrived, so that was quite good.
The climate summit in Paris?
The climate summit in Paris. Have we got the...
Mars, non? Mars 2015, Corinne?
Décembre.
Décembre 2015.
Bah, ça va. Donc ça veut dire qu'on peut faire une réunion ailleurs au printemps.
And of course, all our actions up to that we are going to do following the list, our declaration, our green energy for all, we can use these and we will use these to build, bearing in mind the next climate meeting in Paris, and building and getting more people involved, and then perhaps many of us will actually go to Paris as well. So that might be another date that we will bear in mind for booking and getting organised. Okay. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much for everybody who's been involved. I'd like to say an extra thank you, obviously, to our interpreters and to the rest of the technical secretariat who've done so much of the organising work, hours and hours of time. I think it's been very productive, if not productivist. And we've got 2 massive agreements here, and I think that's brilliant. And we've also had a really interesting time. We've had brilliant reports from new comrades and those who've been involved before. So thank you very much. Fantastic, interesting, exciting political changes are coming, and we can be part of something that draws the left and the Green movement together. So thank you very much to everybody. A big round of applause for everybody. And I'd just like to say that for those of you who want to come and have a sandwich, perhaps we'll meet outside and decide whether or not you want to walk into maybe Covent Garden or get a bus down to the river, grab something there, if you have time. If you have time. Right, couple of points.
Just asking, the amended documents, were something going to circulate?
We just said that we said Stephen.
Monday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the postman. Royal Mail.
Snail mail.
No.
Right, headsets,
the next couple of
everybody,
days.
and clean up all the rubbish before we go.
Thanks to the chair.
Yeah.